Man, salute to the fam.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You heard what my brother, Coach 67 Sports TV, said. Salute to the family. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. We here with another episode of the Southern Baller Show, and we got the brothers in JB, Coach 67 Sports TV. The brothers. If they want to hop on, they definitely are welcome to. Um, but man, we got some interesting takes to talk about this Sunday afternoon, y'all. But before we go into it, Coach, how's everything going?
Uh, I'm blessed and highly favored. Blessed to be on with half the collective, half the Southern Baller Show collective. I'm blessed and highly favored. How y'all gentlemen doing this afternoon?
Man, I can't complain about anything.
Facts, man.
JB, what's going on with you?
I agree, man. I've been blessed.
Yes,
Is
sir.
there echo?
No. You're coming out clear on your end.
Okay.
Yeah, I do hear a little bit of an echo. It's just when JP talking though.
Oh, okay. I don't hear echo on his end. Maybe there's something y'all can hear. I don't know.
Do you hear it now?
No, I don't hear it right
No,
now.
I don't hear it now.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, man, but I'm doing all right, man. Ready to knock out another show.
Oh, that's a blessing. That's a blessing.
Yes, sir, man. Before we get into it, man, I want to, and I know this show is listened to by multiple fans, not just Baltimore Ravens collective, because most of my viewers are Baltimore Ravens fans. So I'm not trying to saturate the show talking about starting off with Baltimore Ravens, but I have to talk about this, man. So those who don't know, I'm not paying attention in the media. Lamar Jackson has this rhetoric going on in the medias. All the main content creators are talking about it. Even on the sports shows on television has been talking about it, or YouTube, saying that Lamar is been sleeping during practice meetings and not playing video games all night and just not prepared. And this rhetoric has come from this gentleman named Mike Preston, and I want y'all to take a very good look at this gentleman. Now, salute, LDBC business. Big Joe, what's going on, man? But
man, salute to Big Joe. Hopefully, Big Joe doing well.
What's good with the family? What's good? What's cracking?
Man, we blessed and highly favored. For everybody in the chat that like to partake in a little sip. Man, go get you a bottle of Old Hillside bourbon whiskey. You dig? Got my bottle.
Facts.
We cracking it open for New Year's. Man, what's good with your Big Joe?
Oh man, this has been an interesting day so far. You know what I mean? So this has been a day of the lessons of home ownership. You dig what I'm saying? So, if you have an apartment and some don't work, you can just call the maintenance and they'll come fix it and get it replaced. But if you own your own house, if something breaks, boy, you go out to fix it, you go out to like the road dog Jesse James say, and you go out to call somebody. You know what I'm saying? My dryer just went out. Your boy out here washing clothes, and then the dryer then went out. So I got to call somebody. See what's going on. But that's how my Sunday been. And we got some foosball today. You know what I mean? So I'm happy to be on with the brother.
Yes,
sir. Yes, sir. Glad to have you, man. But we about to cook, and you jumped in just in time. Salute 86 Goats. One of the other co-hosts, man. but he just listening in. Appreciate your support, bro. Another co-host, Brent Fox. Salute, brothers on the move, still supporting. No, I appreciate you, man. Salute Jared, Coach Panel and chat. Relaxing, calming rain. Appreciate you, man. And then motivation to be a millionaire. Salute Jared, Coach 67 Panel in chat. Appreciate you, man.
What's up, fellas?
And 86 Go says salute to Mr. 1K. He talking about Coach 67.
Man, I appreciate your 86 goals. It's a blessing, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir, man. But we about to cook on this coon real fast, man. And like I said, I'm not trying to have the show saturated with Baltimore Ravens talk, but I can't avoid it. Cannot avoid it. This dude right here. And I feel like he's being used by a higher source, of course, and I'm going to share with you why I think that. And shout out to the other content creators, like Baltimore Raven content creators that have been keeping it real. You know who you are. Hendo, a.k.a. The Roll Podcast, Yolanda B., Sip Tally, Ing Raven.
Lunch break hot take,
yes. I know I'm missing some. 86 Ghosts, Jada 6, and then the Big Red, host of Big Boy Talk. All them three brothers are on the show together. All of them, what I just explained or just said, you can listen to their content and it's very unbiased. Okay, versus the main media. But Mike Preston, like I was saying earlier, came out and said that basically Lamar, just the whole, stereotype of the lazy nigga. Talented, but he's not working hard, which that's not true at all. I think I think this is just my
opinion,
and I believe John Harbaugh, maybe EDC, allowed
Steve Bisciotti
allowed this to come out because
it's time for him to get paid.
It's about to be time for him to get paid, and not only that, John Harbaugh is stubborn. He tried to mold the team his way. EDC tried to pinch pennies. You traded away one of your best pass rusher in Adafe Owe, who was not getting any sacks, by the way, who is now with the LA Chargers. As soon as he got with the Chargers, got 7 sacks. Because he was
a scheme.
Yeah, he was under a bad defensive scheme from a defensive coordinator that John Harbaugh picked. And not only that,
who's really a linebacker coach. A really good linebacker coach, but not a defensive coordinator.
He's not a defensive coordinator. So that's why defense have been getting gashed. Now, in addition to that, you happened to find the sorriest guards in Daniel Falele and Andrew Voorhees to try to protect Lamar, your future Hall of Famer, 2-time MVP. And you don't even have the audacity to try to protect him. Then you have the audacity because there's some rumors going on. Lamar is tired of the foolishness going on. And I believe it. So what I believe happened, which is proof that a lot of teams do this. They try to muddy the water for certain players when they're too vocal or they don't want to be a good boy and play ball. They let certain stuff leak out, or rhetoric come out.
Control the narrative.
Yeah, and this boy right here, he a grown man, but I'm calling him boy. You know if you know.
Look, man, Mike, this dude Preston, whatever his name is, he has did articles on Ed Reed when he was drafted. When he first got drafted, making hit pieces against him. He had hit pieces against Ray Lewis, going just negative. So this dude, long story short, you can't take what he say with a grain of salt. But I think, and like you, all the content creators we just named. Long story short, man, and I'm gonna try to make this quick. This is a narrative hit piece that he is allowed to write and put out there.
Yeah.
Because it moves responsibility and eyes away from John Harbaugh. Because look, man, Patrick Mahomes is on a down year. And the Bills is a good team, but they're not great. There's a lot of games, if you watch football, that they should have lost. And Josh Allen hasn't been playing great all the time. You know what I'm saying? He had a few comeback games. So there's no way that you shouldn't have this football team ready to take over, not just the AFC North, but the AFC period. Now, this is the same coach that put, and I'm talking about when in our Super Bowl year, 2012, where he had Tom Zibikowski starting over Bernard Pollard because he didn't like Bernard Pollard. This is the same dude who had Jared starting over Bryant McKinney because he didn't like Bryant McKinney, the tackle. You know, Pro Bowler with the Vikings, I believe, if he made it to. You know what I'm saying? So this is the same guy. He's been doing this for years. And he's blessed. He's been getting away with it because he's blessed. You know, the Baltimore Ravens is a good organization. They know how to draft for the most part. You know what I'm saying? We looked up on Lamar. They historically can't draft quarterbacks. Yeah. So this is basically smoke screen to say Lamar, John Harbaugh has underachieved. Long story short.
And then you have people talking about, trading Lamar. And I'm telling you right now, we trade Lamar, right? Y'all see what I'm telling you right now, y'all Baltimore Ravens fans, you see what the Browns going through? They may have lucked it up on Shedeur Sanders. They may have, but we're going to see if they let Shedeur fall through their fingers. You see what the Raiders are going through? Who else don't got a quarterback? Established quarterback.
New Orleans.
You see what New Orleans going through? They're trying to
develop Tyler Shough.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. They won a 4 game in a row today, so that might be a bad analogy or a bad example.
Well, that's a good analogy when you just won 4 games and you like 4-13. So good for him winning 4 games, but you're about to pick top 10 in the draft. So continue, Jared. Continue.
Well, really, I prefer top 1, but that's why I'm kind of upset with the 4 wins in a row. You should have just kept going in the tank, as far as I'm concerned. But that's another story. I don't want to divert from the main topic right now. You know?
All right.
No. You good. We cooking. You good. But Mike Person is a joke, bro. He's a joke. Nobody takes him seriously.
So any of you Baltimore Ravens fan, because you don't like him because he's black, you don't like how he talk, you don't like, whatever the case may be. You don't like a running quarterback. You like the old-fashioned. Maybe you don't mind a running quarterback. You may not like Lamar Jackson's style. Whatever your excuse is. If we trade Lamar, it's been one for a couple of years. That's all I'm gonna say. Steven, and what's up, Steph Boone? He said they talking about trading Lamar to the Dolphins. Man, if that happened, I'm gonna have to take a break from the Baltimore Ravens for a couple of years because you let a generational talent slip past your fingers because you allow a mediocre coach to take the reins.
Yeah, I agree. If you allow John Harbaugh to stay and get rid of Lamar, it's yeah. But I don't believe that's gonna happen because
I
Lamar
don't
generates
either,
them
but
too much money. So I don't believe that.
I didn't unless only way it's gonna happen if Lamar Jackson said I want to get out of here like Michael Parsons said to Dallas Cowboy. He was like, trade me. That's the only way. Mike Preston.
That's a fumble. That's a fumble. Josh Allen fumbling the ball. That's a fumble. Y'all called down on Lamar this year. He fumbled the ball. That's Eagles ball. Cheating move. But go ahead.
Anyway, Essex Go said Mike Preston from Essex, Baltimore, turncoat SSA 304 for real, man. But so we can move on, man. I'm going to you, Coach, man. What's your opinion on this foolishness that's been allowed to be spewed out? What's it just say about the Baltimore Raven organization? It's a good organization, but as far as certain people in the organization overall allowing this foolishness to be put out about their star quarterback.
Well, first of all, I don't think it's no different in the sport of boxing than individuals like Sean Porter or individuals like Butter Biscuits eating Timothy Bradley, or even in the NFL. I don't think it's just football in general. I don't think it's no different than Cam Newton. I think based on everything y'all saying, I think he a buck dancing, boot licking, banana eating monkey. Point blank, bottom line, period. Because truthfully speaking, when it comes to selling my people out, there's not really a dollar amount that you could offer me to make me do something. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some individuals are for sale, and I used to watch professional wrestling when I was younger, and they had this wrestler named the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, right? And he had this manservant named Virgil. Basically, Virgil was just basically a boy. He was a butler, a manservant. He did whatever he wanted him to do. You know what I'm saying? Because Virgil had a price. Now, if you
Virgil,
told
yeah.
me,
Good example.
If you told me, hey, Coach, you starting to get in the media space. Hey, we want you to do X, Y, Z. Look, certain things, I don't care how much money you gave me. You could back up a Brinks truck to my residence. Certain things are off limits for me. We just gonna say, for example, all right, I'm a red-blooded, heterosexual black male, right? If you offer me $1 trillion to indulge and engage in some type of activities that I don't partake in, I don't give a damn how much money you gave me. I'm not doing it. So when it comes to this type of activity with this individual here, basically he just a glorified hit piece rider to, murk up and muddy the waters for the Ravens fan base, and like you say, so they can control the narrative. But at the end of the day, I feel like, certain, like Sister Shawa Laya for Yes Indeed Boxing, salute to the Queen.
Salute to the Queen.
All skin folk and kinfolk. And basically, yeah, it sounds like he just a chocolate covered white guy, and he's a boy that has a price. $1 Million Man, you see everybody got a price. Clearly, this buck dancing, boot licking, banana eating monkey, clearly he has a price. So at the end of the day, I don't care how much money you gave me. Hey, I'm all about loyalty. I'm rocking with who rock with me. And all of this stuff he's saying about Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson won the goddamn MVP. I don't care if he like Willie Beeman and he changed the plays in the goddamn huddle. he don't go over I don't care. He's still the goddamn MVP in my mind. So, like, what are we really talking about? And like Jimmy Johnson once famously said, he was like, I'm not going to treat everybody the same, but I'm going to treat everybody fair. This is what he meant by that. He was like, hey, if you got this guy on the end of the roster and he's sleeping in the goddamn team meeting, I'm cutting his ass. But he said, if Emmitt Smith or Michael Irvin sleeping during the team meeting, I'm going to just wake him up and say, hey, get up. So if that's how you operate with your franchise quarterback, then everybody on the team should be held to that same standard. And I know everybody on the team is not being held to such a high standard. If that's the case, y'all would have that same approach with y'all garbage ass head coach. And the thing about it is, at the end of the day, there's favoritism in politics. Not, I've been talking about this lately in terms of the way Southern had been doing business, and not just Southern, but a lot of HBCUs when it comes to their football and athletic programs for years. And I was glad that they went a different direction with Marshall Faulk. Not so much because Marshall Faulk was a Hall of Fame NFL player, but they pivoted and they went in a different direction, and they just didn't keep doing business as usual the way they've been doing. So when it comes to this particular situation here, it seems as if they operate the same way, even though it's not an HBCU. This is an NFL franchise. Clearly, they have their pick and they choose this. They operate a certain way or whatever. And if they're talking about getting rid of Lamar Jackson, hey, I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of these NFL teams are stupid. The owners have a lot of money, and they don't really care about winning. We see with the whole Shedeur Sanders situation. So to me, it just seemed like, hey, I won't play who I want to play. And I don't care if I'm wrong. I'm going to make it right. I'm going to give you an example, right?
Exactly, John Harbaugh.
And I'm going to land my plane. There was this guy, he had this podcast, and he was saying, if you don't think teams go with the guy that they invested more money in, he was like, you crazy. He said it had this guy that this NBA franchise had drafted high, but the guy that was the backup was kicking his head in and busting his head to the white meat in practice every day. And he was crossing this boy up. He was making him look bad. He was dogging him out. He was locking him up when he was on D. And he was like, it got to the point where the coaches say, stop. He was like, we invested a lot of resources in this guy. We drafted this guy high. We don't give a damn if you better than him, but we invested more in him than you. So I don't care if you dominate him every day in practice. He gonna start. He gonna get the run. We making him our franchise guy. Ain't nothing you could do about it. So at the end of the day, I'm the type of person, I won't win. I don't give a damn about all the extra stuff. As a coach, I was doing whatever it was going to take for my team to win. Even if it meant me playing a player that I didn't like his attitude, I'm going to do what I had to do. So at the end of the day, it seemed like there's some favoritism and nepotism when it comes to Harbaugh. And in addition to that, it seemed like the organization backing him, and they trying to cover up for his incompetence as a head coach. And they point the finger at the black guy. It's not a new tactic. Not my new thinking imagination.
Yeah, definitely not. And let me read these comments before I go to Big Joe. Stephen Boone said Lamar has a no trade clause in his contract. He do, but if he decide to, and Steph Boone, if he decides to, if he want to be traded, he had enough of this shit. They got to trade him. But yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. But we gonna see. I get you, 86 Ghost. I appreciate you. 86 Ghost said Lamar can waive the trade. The trade clause. As I was just saying, if he likes a trade, it's in his contract, so they can't send him somewhere against his will. Yep. TD Eagles, and salute to J Bar. Salute family in chat. Appreciate you always supporting. Now, Big Joe, what's your opinion on this the rhetoric that has been spilled against Lamar, or spread against Lamar Jackson?
Can you brothers hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, I'll make sure, brother. I'm in the car right now.
Yeah, hey, hey, this is typical standard.
You cut out for a minute, Joe.
Soon as I start talking, I get a phone call. Lord,
I figured.
um, yeah, this is just typical. It's a typical slanderous behavior. About organization. They always want to muddy up the waters. They always want to try to they always want to make them be like a mirage. You know, so the person who can take the most blame is Lamar Jackson. Lamar been criticized before, so instead of criticizing their head coach because the team goes by how the coaches go. That's what I've been told my whole life of playing sports. I ain't nobody. The team goes of how the coach goes. If the team don't work out, they fire the head coach. They normally blame the coach more than they blame the quarterback. They'll keep a quarterback, but they'll fire a coach. You know what I mean? So, because they recycle the same coaches over and over anyway. You know what I mean? So they might fire John Harbaugh and bring in Mike McCarthy. That's how the league is.
Well,
so,
for real.
But as far as Lamar Jackson goes, Lamar Jackson is a should have been 3-time MVP. If I recall, I believe during training camp, they said Lamar looks to be in the best shape ever. He didn't drop some pounds. He looked like he's ready to rock and roll. You don't drop weight by bullshitting. You don't drop weight by not working out, handling your business. And then I believe, wasn't Lamar Jackson who said, you know what? We losing around here. Get rid of all these games in here.
Yep.
We ain't doing no jump ball, nothing, no dodgeball, nothing, no frisbee, nothing. Get all this out of here now. That was Lamar Jackson's call. So that same guy all of a sudden is now sleeping in meetings. All of a sudden he don't know what he don't know what's going on and he can't stay awake. Now this is getting put out. So we're going to put out Lamar Jackson probably sleeping in meetings, but we ain't going to talk about how the right guard is garbage. Right. We ain't going to talk about how the right guard, who was appointed by John Harbaugh as a favor to be on the team, we ain't going to speak on that because you brothers showed me how bad he was a long time ago. Shannon Sharp and them now talking about it, but y'all done been showed me how sorry he is. So let's get on Lamar Jackson, the captain of the team, the face of the franchise. Let's put out there, he's sleeping in meetings. By the way, for all y'all who don't know, most players sleep in meetings. You might nod off every now and again because you're putting your body through a lot, you're working out, all that kind of stuff.
And let me
you might nod off.
This is coming from a D1 athlete and a brother that was on a professional facility, NFL facility. Go ahead. So he know what you talking about. Go ahead.
Every now and again, a player might nod off. Well, if it's your star player, all the way down to your practice squad player. Now, your practice squad player, you better not fall asleep. Your ass gonna get cut. We don't pay you to sleep in here. We can get somebody else to be on the practice squad. We can pay them $250,000 to practice and work out. Your third string guy, he's trying to get some run. He might be a special teams guy, whether it's field goal, punt return, or whatever. So you better not sleep because you might have to get in the game at some point. So you better be awake. Your second string guy, hell, your first string guy is an injury away from going down, and you go out to go in and get some run yourself. So you need to know everything the first team guy is doing. And the first team guy, well, you playing and practicing, so if you fall asleep, we're just gonna tap on you and wake you up. That's the difference. Because if you're in the NFL and you're starting for a reason. Unless you're the right guard for the Baltimore Ravens, who's there as a favor. But anyways, this is the guy who's doing the slanderous statements. Everybody knows who he is. Everybody knows he writes hit pieces against Lamar. Everybody knows he has some kind of vendetta against Lamar. Well, if it's on Bleacher Report or whatever, everybody's like, this guy's no credibility. Who is this guy? So everybody knows he's pretty much doing some Skip Bayless-esque type of writing, trying to get noticed.
trying to get his name out there. Everybody's saying his last name. That's how these writers get notoriety, by writing some weird stuff to get their name on all over the place, so that way they can get more notarized. That's all it is. Just trying to get famous. But if the Ravens feel like they can do better without Lamar Jackson, trade him. Maybe trade him for a Tua Tagovailoa. Maybe trade him for a what's my man name? Out there with the Niners, the second string guy. Mac Jones. Trade him for Mac Jones. Maybe you can trade him for, maybe you can find somebody in the draft who's better than Lamar Jackson. If y'all feel like he's this guy who's nodding off,
trading for
he don't know what he
Big Joe.
Huh?
Trading for Tyler Shuck.
Yeah, trading for Tyler Shuck. Hey, trading for Bryce Young. Trade him for Justin Fields. If you feel like Lamar is this guy who's sleeping in meetings, I mean, he's just only a 2-time MVP who should have been third. Everybody saw him get robbed, but hey, God forbid he not off in a meeting. So this is typical slanderous behavior. This is what they do when it's time to trade a player. Don't want to re-sign him. Hell, we didn't see Jerry Jones destroyed Dak Prescott. I don't know how many times, talk crazy about him only to resign him. You think Jerry Jones is the only one that does that? They all do it because they don't want to pay him the most money. And then before y'all forget, Lamar and I have no agent, no representation. It's just him and his moms. He's going against the grain. You dig what I'm saying? So not only he don't change who he is, he's still the same Florida boy from Florida. He still wear grills. He's the only quarterback to wear grill. He's still the same guy. He's still Lamar Jackson, and he's represented by him and his moms. They don't like that
at all.
So they don't have no problem writing a hit piece about Lamar. No matter how much he's done for that organization, Lamar Jackson, at the end of the day, is still a brother from Florida. I'll land the plane on that.
And for those LDBC family members that's really not as much into football, for us to make that analogy, it's like the equivalent to Devin Haney not being signed to a promotional company. Basically, he kind of out here, he doing his own thing. So Lamar Jackson don't have one of these like Steinberg's is his agent or whoever, and all of that money is staying in house between him and his mom. Man, the white power structure, the white infrastructure, they don't like that. They just want you to be a big dumb buck, kind of like Cam Newton. You know what I'm saying? That's what they want you to be. So that's an excellent analogy for our LDBC family members that's, not watching football as much as we are,
I'm not going to let him get away with that. I'm not going to excuse him for being dumb. And I understand what you're saying, Coach, because what he is doing, this motherfucker know what he doing.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, Cam Newton know what he doing too. That's why I say they bootlicking, buck dancing, banana eating monkeys.
Right. That's exactly my point. We saying the same thing. Yes, sir. My brother D-Man Jr. in the building. He said, "My brothers, what's up? What's going on, brother?"
Man, salute to the D-Man cooking the ball of year, yo. You know what I'm saying?
For real. But JB, what's your final words? And we gonna get off of here. We're gonna talk about some college ball.
Mike Preston need to go back under the rock he came from. Because I think he just did this just because he was told to, or just to get attention. And I land my plane right there.
I agree.
Yeah. Well, let me say this real quick.
For everybody who don't understand, every organization has dirt on all their players. Every organization. Every organization has the ability to release or not release stuff, depending on if they want to. I live in the Bay Area. I know a lot of dirt on Niner players that nobody sees on ESPN.
Mm.
Who's doing this? Who's doing that? This and that and the third. So it's up to the Ravens media if they want that stuff released. Oh boy, he's been a reporter for the Ravens for a long time. They can give him credentials, not give him credentials, give information or not. If he released something crazy, they can make him take it down, or else you ain't allowed in this building ever again. So the fact that he was able to post that without no repercussions, without somebody saying, get this mother effing out of here, and I won't see your black face ever again in this building. Because that didn't happen, that means that's why we say they mucking up the waters on purpose.
It was clear by John Harbaugh, EDC, and Biscotti.
Exactly.
Yep, it's a strategic. Go ahead.
For perfect example, if you live in Dallas, everybody knows that Jerry Jones likes to mess around with let's say hired help, as you say. Jerry Jones likes to like to leisurely retain the services of some young ladies to show them a good time. But you don't see that on ESPN. You don't see that on CNN. You don't see it on SportsCenter because they're not going to put that out unless Jerry says so. That's how the power of media and that's how the power of the owners have. Jerry Jones and all the owners know exactly what each one of their players is doing, even down to what they spending their money on. They even know this guy, he needs money, so he needs to re-up and re-sign. And I'm going to hold out so I can get a better deal. They know how many baby mamas you got. They know you at the strip club last night, dropping $50,000. They know what kind of chain you bought. They know you just bought 2 Maybachs. They know all this stuff. So if they want to protect Lamar Jackson, who's a franchise quarterback, that story wouldn't even see the light of day.
And that's what I'm precisely worried about. Is Lamar going to take this as a declaration of war against his own Baltimore organization, the Baltimore Ravens? Like, oh, y'all, I did all this for y'all, and y'all gonna let this out? Fuck y'all. So
I think this is just a contract strategy. You know, they got to go to the table, the negotiation strategy. You know, they got to go to the table to negotiate a new contract. So I think this is, from what I understand, and by just listening to old players and people who've been in those rooms, you know, they'll go to the table. Well, you know, you won the MVP, but you know, you didn't do this, and that. You know what I'm saying? You had a down year. So I just think all this is just a strategy for renewing the contract. What they will and won't do.
But I feel like in this context, it's like you cutting off your nose to spite your face. Why not just get the best possible coach and general manager that you could get and put the necessary and requisite pieces around him so you can win a damn Super Bowl, as opposed to playing this get-you-gotcha game and muddying up his name? That's stupid to me.
Because
people rather do the.
Let me say this, JB, and I'll let you go. John Harbaugh has fooled a lot of folk and thinking he's some genius as a coach when it comes to X and O's, and it's been proved time and time again that he's not. Every time when he goes against the coaches, you know, the Mike Tomlin, the
Andy
Reid's, coaches like that, he gets owned.
Get out coach.
Every time.
And I got to rely on Lamar or Derrick Henry to save him.
But see, you know that old expression, if you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. You know, we was talking about, you know, the alleged power struggle between Mickey Loomis and Sean Payton. And, you know, once Breeze left and, you know, and Taysom Hill really didn't pan out the way Sean Payton really wanted. It was a power struggle between the two of them, and he retired. and then he went to the Broncos. You see how that worked out. I mean, don't get me wrong. They won 4 games in a row, but the Saints still a bad team. And you see what Sean Payton doing with the Broncos. So a lot of times you can't get tricked by these individuals like Mickey Loomis that try to make you think they're the best general manager ever, or they're the best head coach since sliced bread. I mean, you just have to do what's in the best interest of your organization if you're an owner. But a lot of these guys, they're arrogant, they have a lot of money, and they figure they could just throw money at whatever problems, as opposed to doing what's in the best interest of your own franchise. It's just mind blowing to me.
It don't make sense, man. But like JB have said it, you've said it, and Big Joe said it. Somebody, to be honest, some of these coaches, man, let's be real, some of these white coaches, if they way doesn't work, they're gonna be very stubborn, very prideful, and even if it's wrong, if it's obvious that it's not working, they're gonna go down with the ship because they want their way or nothing else.
But man, that's where that pride and that ego get you though, bro. Because I'm not gonna lie, like even as a middle school coach, I used to listen to my players. But I was like, hey, coach, like, hey, we know you like to run out the eye and do this, but you just can't line up in the eye and run ISO lead all day against this team. Hey, coach, why don't we try to do this? Man, I was a middle school coach listening to my players. So as a coach, I mean, I know you got to the NFL level for a reason, but you got to have a certain degree of humility at some point.
Yeah, man. But yeah, shame on the Baltimore Ravens for allowing this to leak out, man. But we gonna see. Those who don't know, the Browns beat the Steelers. So all the Steelers had to do was beat the Browns, and the Baltimore Ravens are out of the playoffs. So now that the Browns had upset the Steelers, we play the Steelers at home. In Pittsburgh for the division title and a chance to get in the playoffs and win and go home.
Well, the unfortunate thing is somebody got to win that division because it seemed like neither one of them two teams really wanted to win it.
Right.
And
I agree, man.
I know my uncle and Brent Fox are both having a connection fit right about now, but it is what it is.
AFC North been trash this year, bro.
Yeah, it has, man. And Steve, yeah, man, Jerry Jones like to look at other men's sticks. Jamie Foxx put him on blast. Yeah, man, that yeah. But they ain't gonna be put on blast, man. Weirdo. But anyway, let's move on to college, fellas. So what y'all think about Coach Kyle Whittingham, former Utah Utes coach, is going to be the new head coach of the Michigan Wolverines, since we all know the foolishness and the drama that happened with Coach Moore, Sharon Moore. He's out, of course. But Kyle Whittingham is the new man. What do y'all think? Now, before I goes through the panel and tell you what get your opinion, I'm gonna tell you what I think. This is a mid signing because Kyle Whittingham, even though he's a good coach, he coached some very good Utah Utes ball club for the past couple of years in the Big 12, but either they fall short or then they keep losing the BYUs. So are y'all really trying to get a winner? Now he won a couple of Big 12 championships back in the gap. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know. I just don't. I think they needed a younger coach, up and coming coach, in my opinion. He has a good record: 177 wins, 88 losses, 2 Pac-12 championships in 2021, 2022, and 4 Pac-12 South Division championships. But do you think this is gonna? He always been good, where he's at. But you think he's gonna be the coach that's gonna put them over the hill as far as going to the, making a dent in the playoffs with the Wolverines, like Jim Harbaugh did? Coach, what do you think?
If you're asking me, is he going to be another Bo Schembechler, another Jim Harbaugh? No, not whatsoever.
Exactly.
Is he a decent signing? Yeah, but truthfully speaking, I'm not gonna lie. If you really want to play devil's advocate, you can kind of punch holes in pretty much any coach or team hire. We're gonna say, for example, if you're an LSU fan, like there were individuals that really weren't thrilled about the Lane Kiffin hiring. Even somebody like the Honey Badger, Teron Matthew. He was like, hey, this guy has been all over. He's been to USC, the Raiders, Tennessee, Ole Miss. This guy has shown you he's not loyal. Like, why are y'all giving this guy $90 million? So at the end of the day, I think if you want to play devil's advocate, you could pretty much, punch holes in any hire you want to. But at the end of the day, for whatever reason, they were enamored by him. They went with him. The main thing I'm looking at, like, why? I mean, we know Sharon Moore, he, basically he pissed a $5 million a year job away.
Crazy,
but at
man.
the same token, like, why aren't more high profile former professional athletes or whatever the case may be, why are more black guys not in these positions? I mean, don't get me wrong, I know a black guy just blew that position, but remove him from the equation. I mean, look at how many, NCAA head coaching jobs we have out there. So basically, if you're not in the HBCU realm, like, you hard pressed to almost even get a head coaching job at a Power 5 PWI. No, forget that. Not a Power 5. Power 4 PWI. So at the end of the day, the Rooney Rule is a joke in the NFL, but at least there's something in place to where if you was a black head coach and you was at least hot at one point, like an Eric Bieniemy or a Leslie Frazier, at least you could say you got an interview. But if you in a Power 5 or PWI Power 4 capacity, if you had a LSU, if you had a Michigan, if you had a Ohio State, if you had the University of Miami, if you had Oregon, man, hey, if you black, you're not even getting an opportunity for these head coaching jobs,
Yeah, it's true. That's definitely true. Big Joe, what do you think on the Kyle Whittingham hire for Michigan?
Honestly, I think it's a good hire. And I say it for this reason. Michigan has had the last two coaches, they've all had to deal with scandals with the last two coaches. Jim Harbaugh, there were some scandals. He was there for a long time before he turned that program around. It didn't take overnight. He won this championship in what, like 6-7 years, something like that at Michigan? And then they hired Jim Harbaugh's. Let's not forget why Jim Harbaugh left. He left because he seen the scandal coming.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he left and went to the NFL to coach the Chargers and took a so-called opportunity. And then they brought in old boy, and then old boy gonna do what he do. He was in the scandal as well. He was suspended for erasing text messages from the alleged sign stealing guy. So he was suspended and whatnot. So the last two coaches have having scandals. Then of course, Sharon Moore, he do what he do. He crash out. So Michigan is looking for a safe hire. They're looking for somebody who might be mid or mediocre. He may not be a splash hire, but he's a damn good coach. He's taking a program in Utah. Nobody wants to play in Utah, by the way. I played in Utah. It ain't a damn thing in Utah besides mountains and Mormons.
That's it.
Facts.
Nothing that's appealing to recruits. It's not like a USC. It's not like a Texas. It's not like a Miami, LSU, not even Alabama, and nothing out there. But he's able to turn that program around to where they're always in the top 25 every year. Every year. We call that consistent success. And he's doing that with a Utah program that nobody want to go to, who don't have the budget that a Michigan has. Michigan football team is sponsored by Jordan. They got good boosters over there who gonna put some money down. They just paid $10 million for their quarterback that they have. So now you get somebody like that who's very good, always had a good offense. The Utah's offense has always been reputable and always put up, 30, 40 points a game. Always. So now he's going to a program to where, he has the backing. He's also has the talent. I think he's going to do great things. Is he going to be a national championship winning coach? Maybe not. But compared to what they just recently had, you're going to get somebody who's been consistently good, who has not gotten into any issues in 20 years of coaching at Utah. So I think Michigan is looking for somebody who's a little mid and a little quiet, coming from what they just dealt with, to rebuild that program back up to a standard, not on the field, but off the field. Utah may be one of things, but that's one of the most respectable programs in the nation for how they are on the field and off the field, and the talent that they produce and develop that goes to Utah. So for Michigan, at this time and point, where a lot of coaches are either coaching bowl games or still coaching in the NFL, for a lot of time that they have, I think it was a damn good hire.
Okay, and I hear what you're saying. I really can't debate anything that you're saying. Well, I'm not saying that Coach Whittingham is mid himself as far as the accolades and what he's done, as far as what Michigan is needing right now. Because I know that they're expecting to get back to the big show, the national championship. Again, I don't know if it may be him, but he may look up and be like Ed Ardren, who was a good coach, signed on to an already loaded LSU team, and in 2019 won the championship. Maybe, who knows? Like you said, but good stuff, Joe. JB, what's your opinion?
I mean, I agree with both of what you guys saying. It may, if they want to get to, and Jared, I think what you're saying is they want to try to get to the championship again. Saying you don't know if he's going to get them over the hump. But as far as, like Joe said, the scandals they had, it was a safe hire.
Yeah.
Just to keep them from just play good football, just to keep them playing good football, make the program relevant. But you don't know if he's going to get them over the hump. It may be a match made in heaven. Like you said, that 2019 year where you had the Ed Orgeron, where he just let Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and them boys just do their thing. And Justin Jefferson do their thing. All he had to do was just, steer the ship. But I don't think Michigan, to your point, I don't think Michigan got those type of players on their team. So we'll see.
All right. And Coach, you already went, right? I'm sorry, I got a lot of things to think about.
I did, but just
Okay.
to counterpoint with what JB said about Coach O. We didn't think Joe Burrow was going to end up being what he became. So, like he said, sometimes these type of things, they just work out, And even Coach O was, USC passed on him, and he did a mid job at Ole Miss. We would have never thought he would have became what he became at LSU. Of course, the bottom fell out after all of those players left the next year. But at the end of the day, we never thought he would have won the national championship at LSU. But when you have those type of resources and facilities, hey, look what you could do.
Facts, man. And we for the past 2 weeks we've already went over who we think is going to win against the current games that's going to happen in this coming up week in the NCAA college football playoffs. Now, what we're going to do, we're just going to go ahead and give our predictions and think who's going to take it off. Just to give our educated guess. Who's going to make it to the championship? I think it's going to be Indiana, me, myself, and I think it's going to be Georgia. That's who I picked to make it to the championship. Coach?
I like that same championship game, but I like Georgia winning it all.
Okay. I can see Georgia taking it from Indiana. All right. JB, what's your guess? Who's going the final two that's going to make it to the championship, and who's going to win it?
Who's Indiana playing in the playoff game next?
Alabama.
I picked Bama to win to upset them. I can see, but I was just picking them last week just to, to spice it up. But I still pick Bama, but I can see Indiana going there with Georgia, and I won't be surprised if Alabama somehow makes it in Georgia. But I still have Georgia winning the whole thing, though.
Okay. All right. We got two Bulldog. I got Indiana winning it all. But Big Joe, who you got? So you don't think Oregon or Texas Tech or anybody ain't think the other school got a chance?
I'm not looking at the brackets. I don't know who's playing who, but I believe to me, Ohio State is still a better team. Mm-hmm. To me, Ohio State is the reigning national champions. So until the champions lose, they're still the champions. So I got Ohio State. And I got Georgia in the national championship game, and I got Ohio State.
Actually, I think Georgia and Georgia and Ohio State may meet each other in the semifinals.
Okay, yeah, okay, that's why I'm not even looking, so I don't know who's who. I just say Ohio State is going to win. They still the reigning national champions. They've gone this long before. To all the new teams, the Texas Tech, Indiana, you got to wait 2 weeks, wait a week, play. Ohio State has done this before, so they know how to maximize their time. It's not like the NFL when you get a bye week and play next week. These teams is waiting damn near 2 weeks to play. That's kind of hard for a college student. So especially not who's not used to it. Ohio State has done it before. Georgia has done it too, but to me, I'm still going with Ohio State.
Said last show, yeah.
Now, Big Joe, I want to ask you this: what's your thoughts of, Indiana just pretty much beating Ohio State flat out in a Big Ten championship game?
Ohio State did not play their best game. It was a low-scoring game. And even the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback didn't have his best game. But they're still able to beat Ohio State. So it's more about, to me, what Ohio State didn't do than what Indiana did. I don't see Indiana repeating that again. Unlike the Indiana this year or the the team was like a Houston or a team last year that had a magical run until they got to the playoffs. And everything went downhill after that. I just think Ohio State has had a bad game, but they have a great coach. They have a championship pedigree. They know how to bounce back. We're gonna see if they can keep it going. But I just think it's more about what Ohio State didn't do than what Indiana did.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I like the answer, Big Joe. This is my question from an Indiana perspective. JB always talk about how some of these teams really hadn't been there, done that. Last year they got to the playoffs, they got their first taste of it. You think they're gonna be better for it this year, or even though they're the number one team in the playoffs, do you think to a certain degree they're still kind of a Cinderella type of team? What you think?
It's kind of hard to say. Kind of hard to say they're a Cinderella team because they literally just beat Ohio State for the championship game. But there's plenty of NFL teams who have won their division and didn't get far in the playoffs either. So I won't say they're a Cinderella team. I just say I'm just not a big believer in their quarterback like that. I'm not a big believer in Ohio State quarterback, but I'm a firm believer of you've been there and done that. An Ohio State team has done that before. And Indiana is still their second year of winning, second or third year of winning. So
you saying
they have
still kind of
they have a great team, a great program to build from. I just don't think, in my opinion, that they have all the dogs that they need to win a national championship.
yeah, JB kind of see the same thing from the perspective of even though they got a taste of it last year, they're not a perennial contender like a Alabama or Georgia, or Alabama or Georgia. So they still kind of relatively new to being in this position. So yeah, so that's some good stuff right there.
Perfect example I can correlate this to was Washington. Washington was just a national championship game several years ago. Or Michael Penix Jr. and their head coach, and now the head coach of Alabama. A lot of folks was like, "Oh man, they're a phenomenal team. Let's see what they're gonna do next year." The head coach left, the bottom fell out of the organization, and Washington is nowhere near the top 10 or even in the playoff contention. So you can have great teams, you can have great years. I just don't think they have all the dogs yet at Indiana. Don't mean they can't get some more next year because the head coach is doing a phenomenal job. I think he won Coach of the Year, I think. But I don't see them beating the Georgia. I don't see them beating the Oregon. And like I always say, it's hard beating the same team twice. I don't see them beating Ohio State again. So that's just me.
Yeah, man, and the example you were using as far as teams just making it to the playoffs last year from Texas was SMU, and to your point, like you use Washington, SMU is nowhere near the playoffs this year. Even though they were competitive in the ACC somewhat, yeah, they wasn't the team last year. But yeah, I agree with all your points, man. Good stuff. Can't wait to see how it all unfolds, man. And congratulate. One thing I will say is, don't be surprised if a Texas Tech gets past Oregon somehow. And the teams that we say are elite, like Indiana or Bama, whoever makes it, wins that game, is struggling with a Texas Tech defense because they got a linebacker named Jacob Rodriguez. This dude won the Dick Buckets, Bronco Nagurski Award, and Chuck Pendergast Award. And me because I want to see how good Colorado do. So I was looking at the Big 12 this year. This dude is a land shark. So just having those defensive pieces, and their defense overall is pretty good. I wouldn't be surprised if Texas Tech. It's hard to, it's very competitive, and They may go further than what a lot of people expect. But I still got Indiana taking it off. Just me, myself, personally. But let's go ahead and go to the NFL, y'all. So, I think the Jaguars have already didn't the Jaguars clinch their division today, the AFC South?
Yeah, they beat the Well, I think the Houston
Beat the
did,
Colts.
didn't they? Did Houston clinch the division or the Jacksonville did?
Let me see.
I think Houston did.
I know Houston's going to the playoffs. I know that, but they might have clinched it. Yeah.
Thanks to the website. So, in the AFC West, the Broncos clinched their playoff division. The Chargers clinched the wild card. The Texans and the Jaguars clinched the playoff position. I think I think next week, if I'm not mistaken, which I'm gonna check real fast, they may be playing each other next week for whoever wins the division. And of course, we are about the Steelers and Ravens. None of us have clinched anything. So, because next week we play, everyone's playing. So both Steelers and Ravens playing for it all. Winner go home for the division and who going to the house. And then the Patriots and Bills clinched playoff position in the AFC East. Now, for the NFC, of course, we know the Eagles clinched their division. Bears clinched their division because we, with the help with the Baltimore Ravens, the Packers had to beat us to clinch the division. I think, or they just had to wait till they played the Bears again, I believe. But either way, they had to beat us, so the Bears wouldn't clinch the division, but we beat the Packers. So the Bears have clinched the division, but the Packers did clinch a wild card. Panthers and Bucks, it looks like they're gonna. What's going on with the Bucks and Panthers? So they play.
What's their last game?
Next week against each other.
Yeah, so that's
okay. So that's going to decide the division then.
Yeah, that's going to decide the division between.
I mean, it's essentially the equivalent to the Ravens and the Steelers. Neither one of these teams really want to win it. Just like the Ravens nor the Steelers want to win the AFC North. The Bucks nor the Panthers want to win the NFC South. I'm like, come on, man. Both of y'all lost to the Saints coming down the stretch. Man, come on, bro. Like, that tells you that the AFC North and the NFC South are pretty much neck and neck in terms of bad divisions, you know.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I agree. And the NFC West, the Seahawks and the 49ers both clinch the playoff position. All right. So, fellas, it looks like that playoff picture is coming. It's about to be clear. But let's start with the NFC first. So next week, who y'all got? Panthers or Bucks? You think the Panthers are going to do it and go ahead and clinch this division?
They both suck, but I'm picking the Panthers.
All right, JB.
I'm Panthers. I don't like how Tampa Bay has been playing some bad football lately.
So are the Panthers, though.
Yeah, but like Tampa Bay just fell out from how they was last year, where Baker Mayfield was in the MVP conversation. Now he hasn't been playing good, and that defense don't look good either.
Okay, and Big Joe, just in time, who you got? The Panthers or the Bucks for the division?
Ooh, Bucks. Shout out to Charlie Strong.
Okay, I got Panthers. I think the Panthers edge it out in the NFC, lock down in NFC South. Okay, let's go back to the AFC. So who y'all got? Steelers or Ravens? Of course, you know who me and JB got. So I'm gonna go to y'all first. Coach, who you got? Steelers or Ravens?
Damn, that's like trying to choose between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. Damn. I'm gonna go with the Steelers.
Damn.
I can't. How we been playing and inconsistent, like with all the bullshit we just said. I can't even get mad at you, Coach. If I try, JB, who you got? Steelers or Ravens? No, I'm not JB. No, I'm gonna say you last. I know who you pick. I want your explanation. I'm gonna say you for last. Big Joe, who you got? Steelers or Ravens?
As long as they keep giving Derrick Henry the damn ball, I say Ravens.
Damn, even Brent Fox picking the Ravens. Okay. JB, I know you got the Ravens, but how do the Ravens win this game without choking?
I think, but it's a combination of what Joe said, and I think he got chewed out enough, especially him and Ty was chewed out all coming up to the Saturday night game. So I think they got the picture of fuck your plan, fuck analytics, do what's working. You know what I'm saying? If they can't, you got a team that can't stop the run you run the ball till they stop. You know what I'm saying? That's where I think from high school to college to the league that the coordinators, I've seen a lot of football where the coordinators just lose games they should have won. And, Coach Prime included, where they just refused and run the ball. You know what I'm saying? With a football team or a defense that can't stop the run. But I think that we win it just running Derrick Henry, Lamar coming back. You know what I'm saying? Lamar's not healthy. I don't give a damn. Yeah, I'm making that. No DK Metcalf. The receivers is the receivers don't threaten me. However, our defense ain't been, especially in our secondary, been barbecue chicken these last couple of weeks, and we can't get to the
because there's no pass rush. Yeah.
Yeah, so we got Myles Garrett, so anything can happen. So I'm going to go with Baltimore because even though I kind of in a way want them to lose because I want John Harbaugh out of there, I'm always going to be a Baltimore Ravens fan at heart. So I'm always going to want them to win. I'm going with Baltimore. But fuck John Harbaugh.
Damn.
Facts. Fuck him. And yeah, and Stephen Boone said, is Lamar playing that game? Supposedly, and Shannon Sharp asked talk about some sit Lamar Jackson have Tyler Huntley start only if Lamar can't go.
I don't disagree with that. If he's not 100%, that dude been taking a beating this year, bro. If he's not 100%, I don't. look, man, this is in a way the same trash ass offensive line we had that last year, and he made history with this type of behind his offensive line. It's equivalent to what Joe Burrow did that year when he took that trash ass offensive line to the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. It's amazing. That's how you know he's him. So if he want to rest, he can rest. I don't give a fuck what anybody say. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think Lamar is going to sit. I think an extra week is going to help him out, and I think we'll see him against the Steelers. But Tyler Huntley, man, has been. I'm proud of the brother. Always thought he should have been our backup. Um, Us signing Cooper Rush was a mistake, especially behind this offensive line. Cooper Rush has always been a pocket quarterback, and a pocket quarterback that was behind a bad offensive line is a recipe for you to lose games and get your ass whooped. This offense moves the ball with QBs that can run. And Tyler Huntley showed that last night and making the quick, easy throws. So, and I just want our offensive coordinator to do the same thing with Lamar. Give Lamar the quick, easy throws and quit trying to draw up plays to get chuck plays 20, 30 yards down the field with a bad offensive line. Okay, that's it.
Well, yeah, I'm not too opposed to them sending Lamar because Tyler Huntley, he can steer this offense. You can give Derrick Henry the ball, and you can give Lamar another week to rest because
Agreed.
you're gonna need him to be there for the playoffs. So 2 weeks of rest for Lamar Jackson, can definitely can go a long way. And them having to play 4 games with them reaching the championship game, the Super Bowl. That's what they're trying to go. I don't know if they're gonna make it that far, but 2 weeks of rest is gonna go a long way in the NFL with them doing therapy damn near 24 hours a day. Well, if it's hyperbaric chambers, ice in the stem, well, if it's massages, chiropractic, well, if it's red light therapy, well, if it's ice bath, they got all type of shit now. So you can do everything except sit in milk to rehab now. So, as long as 2 weeks or 24 hours around the clock, Lamar should feel a hell of a lot better and be ready for the playoffs.
Big Joe, while we talking about like rehabbing and that type of thing, when you were in college at Louisville, was contrast bathing a big thing in terms of going from hot to cold and cold to hot?
Um, trying to remember. The biggest thing when I was playing was like ice and stem. Ice and stem was like the biggest thing. Of course, everybody got into a cold tub after practice, but mainly to rehab, it was a lot of ice and stem. There wasn't even there were no massage guns back then yet. We talking like 2009 now, so there wasn't no massage guns and nothing. It's mainly like ice and stem, or like if you need to get massages, you can do that. So, so I'm that old, but yeah, no, it was hot and cold contra. Hot and cold was the thing back in the day. I don't remember at Louisville us having a hot tub. I remember us having a big ass cold tub. They might have it now because they upgraded the facility since I left. But yeah, back in my day in 2009 ish, ice and stem, cold tub, massage therapy, and a whole lot of rehab.
Yeah, that's some good stuff there, Joe. But rest in peace to Doc Williams, who was a athletic trainer at Southern University and for the Dallas Cowboys. Like he was big on contrast baths and too, So yeah, so that's why I asked that question.
Okay. Well, we gonna see, man, how this plays off. But we gonna be here for it, and we gonna talk about it. Now in boxing, did y'all see Deontay Waters' interview on Cigar Talk when he talked about, Usyk, and then his ex-fiance, he had to take her, and her son off the wheel because he said that the I guess you want to call it we gonna call it the baby mama's son. That wasn't Deontay. He said you ain't my daddy. After Deontay did a lot for this boy, but did y'all catch that?
Yep, sure did.
What did y'all think about that?
Yeah, regarding the interview, I think Najee did it from Cigar Talk, I think. So I'm not gonna shout out Najee because he did an interview with Ryan Garcia. So
Oh,
um,
okay.
you know,
I ain't know
so yeah, he did an interview with Ryan Garcia. Everybody's like, hey bro, man, this ain't it, but he still went for it anyway. So um my dog
that.
SB. Yes, all right. Quick story. So, how I met my shout out to my dog SBZ. I met my dog Steph in sign language class. That's how we met. We met in sign language class, and then we're like the only brothers in class besides me and my teammate. So me and him were partners. That's how me and him met. And then the sign language thing was like a conversation piece where I have my lines I need to remember, he need to remember his, and we need to have a conversation, and that was part of our test. So when we study, rehearse, and then we go through the test, and we're going, and we sitting in this room with cameras recording us, so that way the teacher can judge us and grade us. So we sitting in like a little room with cameras on, getting recorded. We go through the conversation. My dog forget his lines like a motherfucker. My dog, cause like again, sign language, you can't talk. So I'm signing things off, and he just look at me with his eyes wide like a motherfucker. Like, man, I forgot my shit. So you know that my dog. So you know, I made it to where you know he remembered his lines, and we end up passing the court. We all graduated. But yeah, that's how I met my dog Steph. But anywho, um,
That's what's up.
but regarding Deontay Wilder, yeah. I know he's in negotiations with Usyk, so hopefully that fight happens. You know, and hopefully he has been training. He seems to be in a happier spirits. He seems to be stress free. He's got surgeries on his shoulder. He said he actually can throw his hand now with no pain. So if he fights Usyk and when he does, I hope he actually throw that bitch and not just be apprehensive. Now, regarding the situation with his ex, Wilder's not the first to love somebody else's kids and have them stab him in the back. He's not going to be the last. You know, so I'm not going to get into the whole don't date single moms kind of thing because it's not that kind of show. But I will say this. You have to be understanding that when you love a woman who has kids, especially young kids, even though you can raise them from young all the way on up, you can give them the life that they never had before. You can do all that in the third. You have to be understanding that one day they may look at you and say, F you, you ain't my daddy. And it got nothing to do with you. It's just how it is. You know, so, you know, it's unfortunate, you know, because Wilder loved that. You can tell he loved that kid because he loved the woman. He loved the woman. He loved her wholeheartedly. Hell, she's even in the music video that Wilder did, you know, with his one song that he did. So he loved her. So of course he gonna love her child. I've been there before. You know, even in my family, I've had family members that have been raised since they were 2, 3 years old, only to turn around and tell somebody, you ain't my daddy and you ain't shit. You know, so I've had folks look out as far as getting somebody an NBA tryout with the Golden State Warriors because that was a dream to do that. Somebody set that up for him, and all you had to do was show up for the tryout, and that person didn't show up for the tryout. You know, ghosted it, and then later on they're gonna tell that same person who gave them the opportunity that they ain't show up for, you ain't shit because you ain't my daddy. Meanwhile, their daddy ain't never been around ever in life. So you know, that's just how certain things go. But there is a lot of kids who have stepfathers who they love and acknowledge them and appreciate them for being there for them when they didn't have to. So, you know, it's unfortunate. You know, it's just how life goes at times. So Wilder now don't have to deal with that no more. Wilder now can just focus on his career. I'm glad he finally got that off his chest. And now he can focus on being the heavyweight champion again and fighting Usyk. You know, so, but, you know, any man who wants to take on somebody else's kid, especially if they're young, you have to understand that that might happen to you, or that kid may appreciate you. It can go 50-50, depending on who the woman is.
Yeah, and I know this is a sports show, but this could be very interesting for that sports athlete or the young boy who's in sports, and they come into a relationship with a woman, or the girl may already have a child. So yeah, this is stuff that needs to be heard and listened to.
Well, 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 not even that. You can be Deontay Wilder, because I know Telly was messing with somebody else who wasn't even at the same caliber as Deontay Wilder. And obviously, you see when they broke up, she slandered his name and did him dirty. Now, has
Mm-hmm.
anybody seen Telly pull up at anybody who was the equivalent or better than Deontay Wilder?
Nope.
So, so even with that, you can say, take out the kid aspect. You love a woman, you've given her everything that she never had before, taking care of her and all that kind of stuff. And then one day she can look at you and say, you ain't shit, and that you hit on me when that was not even true. So, that's just for anybody, any athlete who comes into money. If she hasn't been with you since high school or whatnot, she just knows you for your name. She got with Wilder because of who Wilder is. She wasn't with Wilder when Wilder hopped off the beer truck, decided he wanted to do boxing just to take care of his daughter. She met Wilder when Wilder was already the heavyweight champion in the world, knocking niggas out on 3 times a year. So, and then you see Wilder took her from somebody else. And then, now she's going off to doing whatever she's doing, slandering that man's name because they're not together no more. That's just how it goes.
Yep. And I think Walter even said in the interview that she was a CNA. So you think people be, and notice I'm not saying anything about the job she used to work, but if a good brother, is taking you from a job like that, you think you'll be grateful, but the world ain't like that. But anyway, Coach, what's your thoughts?
Well, I'm gonna keep it a buck in terms of watching that particular interview. I didn't. However, I did watch. Salute to our brother, the General 78 Sports TV. I did watch, when he interviewed Wilder and the conversation they had. And truthfully speaking, I'm not even gonna lie. Uh, you know, based on the conversation, him and 78 had and the way 78 talk about him, glowingly. And of course, for individuals that rock with my channel, Wilder's my favorite fighter. I believe, the negotiation between him and Usyk gonna work out. I think the fight is definitely gonna come to fruition. And I just want Wilder to become undisputed before he retires. Maybe avenge the Tyson Fury loss. If AJ will stop being a coward and fight him, get that body on your resume too. And then maybe you could, double back to maybe Joe Parker, but maybe not with the whole cocaine situation with him, or maybe even Zilly Big Bang Zane. But in regards to the situation with his ex, I know Big Joe said this is not that type of show, but I'm not even gonna lie, this is gonna spill over for us probably later on down the line. Uh, it probably will spill over into an episode of the Black Man's Perspective. Uh, I was married and my ex had 2 children prior to us getting married, and her and I are no longer together. But I still interact with the kids. But truthfully speaking, Big Joe say, and that type of show, I'm gonna keep it a buck. In 2025, going into 2026, I wouldn't advise young men just like I wouldn't advise my nephews. If a woman has children, I would steer clear of that. Even though, my ex 2 daughters, I still interact with them if they need me for certain things. You know, I'm still at their disposal, whatever the case may be. It's not like it was back in the gap where if a guy took on a woman that had children from a previous marriage or previous relationship or whatever the case may be. Back in those days, like the 70s, the 80s, those women were more appreciative. But in 2025, a lot of these women with, these feminist ideals and gynocratic ideology, this westernized thinking, they don't value those type of men. They don't appreciate them. I mean, anytime you get somebody like Giselle leaving Tom Brady, I mean, at the end of the day, most women, I hate to say it like this, but it's going to be a conversation we're going to have on a black man's perspective. Most women in this westernized society we live in, they're not fit to be wives. And truthfully speaking, I would, myself moving forward, I'm not going to lie. I don't date women that have kids already from previous relationships. And if I had to advise my nephews, which I will at some point when they're big enough to get to that point, I would advise them not to date women with children. That's just my personal perspective. And at the end of the day, more than anything, I just want Champ to become undisputed,
Facts. JB, what you got?
I mean, all I got to say is, man, life gives us lessons, man. And it's just important that we learn from them. I think this was a lesson for Champ. That you can love somebody, man, and especially when everything is going right for you and you're on top, what I'm saying, and you got everything you need to help everybody, and everybody sees that. But that's why me and you was talking about this, in football terms, when me and you been on winning championship football teams and bad football teams, and we see people character when you're winning, and you see people character when you're losing.
Facts.
And then it's very important when you're losing to pay attention to everybody around you and how they act. Because when you're losing, everybody gonna show you who's really 100 and who's just saying just to get a free ride or just to get get their moment. You know what I'm saying? And those, in football terms, when you ain't got nothing to play for. You know what I'm saying? And like the Cleveland Browns today. Then they kept fighting. They just kept fighting. That pertains to life as well. When everything is going wrong, it feels like, man, nothing going right. You losing money. You lost your job. Everybody talking about you. And then it's very important that you're loyal to the people who had your back. And the people that didn't have your back, you got to let them go. And I think for Champ, this is just a learning lesson. And when I say you take L's, everybody gonna take an L. I ain't talking about a loss. I'm talking about a learning lesson. Just take these learning lessons serious, fellas. Because it help you to make better choices. But that's all I'm gonna say about Champ business. Because this is what normal man goes through.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good stuff, fellas. But fellas, we had another great show. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up, man. This was good stuff, man. Coach, let everybody know where they can meet you and see you.
You can catch me at Coach 67 Sports TV on all social media platforms. However, I'm primarily here on YouTube at Coach 67 Sports TV. Tomorrow will be episode 20 of the tailgate party. Y'all come through tomorrow night and rock with me. Catch y'all on the rebound. Salute to the awesome and amazing LDBC. Y'all have a blessed, phenomenal evening. Happy holidays to everybody. And we're going to catch y'all next time, you dig?
All right. And again, congratulations to your channel being monetized and you getting 1K, man. Very well deserved.
Man, thank you. You are next. And Brent Fox, y'all two up next, you feel me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Big Joe, please again promote Old Hillside Bourbon Company and let everybody know where they can meet you and see you.
You can catch me on all LDBC platforms, showing love to brothers and sisters of the mighty You can catch me everywhere like air. You dig what I'm saying? But I will say this. For everybody who felt like they didn't accomplish what they needed to accomplish in 2025, now's not the time to feel doom and gloom. Now's not the time to look back what you did and didn't do. 2026 is literally days away. In football terms, a new season is upon us. January 1st is the new season. You know, we're going to use the months as games. Every month is a new game. You have 12 games next year to do what you didn't do this year. This year is over with. If you didn't do what you're supposed to do, take it as a loss. If you did what you're supposed to do, piggyback on that to even add on to more successful things next year. So, again, no time for doom and glooming. It's a new season, new year upon us. And if all y'all who did not take the time to go watch any football, season's over now. We're on week 18 of the NFL next week. College is pretty much over. High school is pretty much over. You know, so enjoy the football while you have it, because pretty soon we're going to be left with baseball and hockey, and y'all going to be crying like I do every year, talking about there ain't no football on. And then when we ask you to, and then when we, UFL, but then we're going to ask y'all, did you watch this game? No, I missed this game. I didn't feel like watching it. You know, so just because you didn't feel like watching the Jets and the Jets play the Browns, now you're crying. Now you're crying in April. You know how you got the football to watch. Anywho, enjoy the football while we still have it. For everybody who loves and who partakes in whiskey, for everybody who likes to have a little nightcap, please check out Old Hillside Bourbon Company. Old Hillside Bourbon Company. One more, 3 times like Umar Johnson. Old Hillside Bourbon Company. We are available in North Carolina. We're available in Kentucky, Wyoming. We are now available in Alabama. We are available in California and Hawaii. When I say available, I mean in stores. If we're not in your stores, you can find us at oldhillsidebourboncompany.com, and the shipping comes fast. You can ask Jared011Green, and you can ask Coach. They grabbed the bottle and they got them quickly. I appreciate everybody for the support. Everybody who bought bottles, everybody who bought cigars. I appreciate everybody. But if you love, again, the holiday, it's New Year's coming up. You can buy a bottle for New Year's, or you can buy a bottle to get ready to celebrate for the winnings you're going to do next year. Grab a bottle of Old Hillside Bourbon to help us celebrate with you, and just taste the legacy. Y'all have a good day. Y'all have a good rest of the week. Happy New Year's. As my father say, happy 4th of June Easter.
All right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And thank you, Steph Boone. He said, great show. Salute to the fellas. Yes, sir. Appreciate you for joining, man. Always supporting. And JB, lasting words so we can get out of here, man.
Hey, man, I'm just going to echo, but, Big Joe said, man, don't drag your feet and, and put your head down. Hey, man, keep driving your feet, you know what I'm saying, towards your goal, man. This is going to be a new year. It's going to be a great year, a productive year. And can't wait to go through it with y'all. And, love everybody on this panel, with the Southern Baller Show. I consider these dudes my brothers, you know what I'm saying? And,
Yes,
my family. So, I hope you brothers have a great 2026 that's coming up, and productive 2026. And to our fans out there and our listeners, love y'all too. I pray that everything that you wish for comes true. I pray that you're prepared for everything you pray for. It ain't just enough that you pray for it. Make sure you prepare for it. You know what I'm saying? Well, other than that, I'll catch y'all next week, and I'll talk to you later.
Yes, sir. 86 Gold said, fire hard is all I got to say. New coach, new year, new coach.
Hey, Jared, can I say something real quick? I'm sorry, brother.
Please, go ahead. No apologies. You good.
I don't know if y'all talked about this last week. I might have missed it. The Ohio football coach, not Ohio State, University of Ohio football coach was fired because he was having sexual relations with a student.
Ooh,
A
please put that
student.
out there.
A student.
Yes.
Not a co-worker, a student. So he has been relieved of his duties. And supposedly his thing is due to the under the code of conduct and policies and procedures and everything, there's no rule against having relations with a student. But I will say this to all the men out there, like Shamar Moore, please stop having sex with your coworkers. Please. There is plenty of fish in the sea. You ain't gotta catch the fish that's next to you. Plenty of fish out there for you to catch. Please stop having sex with your coworkers because eventually it's gonna come out, and eventually your ass gonna get fired. Well, if you're a head coach, well, if you're a principal, well, if you're a CEO hugging up on your HR rep at a Coldplay concert, either way, it's gonna come back to you. And please do not have no relations with no students if you're in the teaching realms. There's plenty of adult women out there. Now I know that over 18 is an adult, but if you're a coach, a teacher, a principal, it is behoove you to have sexual relations with the same people you are trying to teach and trying to develop for the next generation. So men and women, because women are doing the same thing too, stop having sexual relations with your students and your coworkers. Y'all be easy.
Well, Big Joe.
Yes, sir.
First
Drop the
of
mic.
all, I
Amen.
I got to do a couple things, touch on a couple things in regards to that. First of all, that's an excellent point, and we see the double standard just like we saw with Diddy and Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon did far more salacious things than Diddy, but we see who in prison and who lost they lost their fortune, while the other person was able to sell a company and keep what they built going.
And
So
their family.
there's a double standard in regards to that. And there's someone, as like myself, that's been in the field of education for 15 years, been coaching for years also. I'm not gonna lie, the women get more grace when it comes to that type of thing. But you are 100% spot on, you accurate. But I'm not gonna lie, the women get more grace in those type of situations because I've seen men mess with underage girls and they basically, hey, we throwing him under the prison. If a female teacher, female administrator, whoever mess with a underage student, it happened at a couple schools I've been to. They didn't even lose their teacher certificate. So it's clearly a double standard when it comes to both of those scenarios, though. But definitely another spot on taking point by Big Joe Thompson. You know what I'm saying? And one last thing, JB talking about family. Hey, y'all brothers family, because 7-8 talk about this all the time. Man, in 2025 going into 2026, people are not loyal like they used to be back in the gap. You got a lot of fair weather friends, even when it comes to like sports teams. A lot of people are front runners. They fair weather fans. Hey, I'm the type of person, whether you up and rocking with you, whether you down and rocking with you, even when y'all talked about Wilder, I'm letting y'all know now. For the next woman that's gonna be in my life, hey, the elevator's going up. You better catch me before I get to the top. You did.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man.
Amen.
And salute the grown with soul, man. He said, salute, brother. Here late. Got to catch the recap, man. I appreciate you still coming
Man,
in, man.
salute to my brother Ground with Soul, and we definitely gonna have to do this LDBC Grill Challenge with him and Big Joe and 7-8 and all my brothers that like to hop on the grill like myself. You dig?
Please, man. Please support the brother if you trying to get your garden popping. You want to know how to grow a garden? This brother right here, Growing with Soul. Please go subscribe to his channel and support. But like I said, man, this was a great show. I appreciate all the brothers who took time out their day to hop on. I appreciate everyone who listened to the show. I appreciate all of y'all support. Please continue to like, subscribe, and share. If you listen to the show and you're new, please support. Please like, subscribe, and share. But this was another installment of the Southern Baller Show. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Y'all be blessed.